Hello fellow racers, ME7 here. We are about to have a lot more F1 cars in the game, and a lot of people aren't familiar with handling these cars. For instance, assists can really mess with you, spin you around, cause you to spin out, so I want to get into assists settings. Also, steering sensitivity is a big deal. And this is a race that you're going to see at Monza later, but right now I just want to show you about trajectory and this car. So I'm going to head into this corner a few times and watch what happens here. Full throttle every single time. So watch this. You can't drive it like that. I broke traction and I crashed. Now let's try it again. I'm going to swing a little more to the left, then steer straight for a bit, like a slight turn, but mostly straight, then turn. Let's see if I can push it more. Not as far left, but look at this. Steer kind of straight. Now, when the speed gets up there, then I do my next turn. Okay, Silverstone, this is important because we're going to be having a Grand Prix event here. So this is an autocross, and the purpose of this one is to show you the difference of the different assists settings. So, high steering assist, high brakes, traction control on. This car is going to overbrake like crazy, and you'll see it by the time that I can finish in. So I'm staying full throttle here. Don't have to worry about anything. This car's not going to spin out, but my goodness is it overbraking. Now, this car has to go slow on really sharp corners as it is because of how light it is. Let's compare this to a NASCAR. The average F1 car is 660 kilograms or 1,455 pounds. The average NASCAR is 1,450 kilograms or 3,200 pounds. That huge weight difference explains why these F1 cars are so light in sharp corners, because they just don't have the downforce and they're not sticking to the track. And that's not a very good time, but that's what you get with all assists on high. So let's drop the assists a bit. Now it won't be braking as much in the corners. In general, low brakes will actually not brake quite enough. So this is where you can get into some trouble if you're relying on them too much. So that corner was okay for me. This one, the brakes weren't quite on early enough, and the other problem is that the steering assist sometimes steering when I don't want it to be. And because this car is so twitchy at low speeds, that difference of opinion means I can spin out easier. So what I mean is, I know how I want to take the corner, but steering assist says, nope, you got to take it my way. And if we disagree, I slide out. So you certainly could do a better time than that with those assists, but still, it's pretty limiting. Now let's look at this with no assists at all. Now I had to do several runs to get a good run at this. The thing you have to realize with no assist is that you're going to blow it sometimes, and that's just how you figure out the braking points. So I start at a certain point and I adjust them. This corner is really hard on that car because you just have to be careful when you can get back into the gas. So I've picked my braking points, like there's a little patch of dirt, I'm going to start before it, there's that patch. Get back on the throttle when I know I can, and same with here, I want to have one braking point, one acceleration point, and that's a great time. And just so you know, that's where the race is in the exclusive series. So here we are back at Monza, which is also going to be a GP circuit that we run in this update 8.0. Heading into the first corner, you don't want to hurt your car really bad, so I'm going to brake really early and find a way to get around some of these guys. You got to remember that if you damage your car, it's going to mean less acceleration, lower top speed, longer braking points, and less grip. That less grip is going to really frustrate you on the tight corners where you're having to really brake. What's going on? Oh, I see, there's an accident. And another accident. Whoa, well, I avoided that one. So the point of this isn't for me to show you how fast I could get to first place. I'm going to show you some handling issues and how I overcome them. And also you get a chance to see some of my braking points here. And okay, here's a great example. See, I blew that corner. This is where tilt B, tilt A is a deal. Because I was using tilt B, all I had to do was lift off the accelerator, steer into where I was losing traction, and regain control. I didn't even lose a position. Now I did have to do some blocking. Now we're coming up to the parabolic turn, which is one of the hardest turns in the game to get right. And, oh, I missed my braking point. Okay, so look at what I did right there. I kept going pretty straight with heavy braking. In this car, if you're going to do heavy braking, you can't do heavy steering. So take a look at the lead I've got right now, about 186 meters heading into this group of corners here. So let's see how much I can gain on that running a really solid lap here. So I'm going to push it and try to do a great job, and I'm going to tell you about my braking points. There's a bridge coming up, and I'm going to brake right as I hit that bridge, and I'm going to get back into the gas right as I'm hitting this section here. 2 signs on the right, I brake after the second one, into the gas, again about midpoint of the corner. Very short braking point here. So I brake, do my steering, and then I'm back on the gas just as I'm coming out of my steering to have a pretty straight line that I can shoot through. So same with here, braking at about the bridge, turning into the gas, and nice swooping corners. I love that chicane there. Just a really fun section in this game. And here we go, my second attempt at this corner. Let's see if I can do a better job. That's a pretty good job. See how I go straight for a bit there? Then I finish my turn when I'm at speed, because you're just not going to lose traction. Now let's check out how much I gained. So I was about 185, so a 985, 1085. Well, not 1185, but pretty close. So that was almost a full kilometer gain. Oh, kind of blew that corner, but not hard to regain traction when I'm running tilt B. So let's switch over to tilt A. And again, there's a lot of good drivers who use tilt A. It's just you got to be more precise. You really can't miss a braking point. I have to address steering sensitivity. I used to run 10 when I first ran no assists, but I worked my way down to 7. Then I dropped to 5 for F1 cars because it just felt more natural that way. Well, now my default is 2, so I drop to 0 whenever I get in one of these F1 cars. It just seems to help me to handle them better. Now here we go, and okay, so there you go. I've lost traction using tilt A. I'm trying to get it back, but the low downforce coupled with a full acceleration makes it hard. Now compare that to this. Full speed, I'll thrash my phone back and forth. Look at that, I can't lose traction. So at high speeds, this car is glued to the track. Well, that wraps it up for my F1 tips. Now I know this isn't a current F1 car, but I have found these tips to be true for all F1 style cars currently in the game. So I expect them to also apply to the new ones. This is ME7 signing off. The new update drops on November 26th. If you haven't seen my preview video yet, here it is.